Russia in particular? Well, when I was a student, a guy who later became my boss came to a conference that I was at, and he talked about his own experience of meeting a bunch of Russian students playing baseball and one summer, and them introducing him to the Christian faith, and he eventually became a believer himself. And he had this line in his talk. He said, there are two kinds of people in this room. There are those who've been to Russia, and there are those who are going to go. And that just sort of hit me somewhere in my heart, really. And I was like, I knew that this was something for me. And I knew that if I didn't go at some point, that I would have missed out on something that that God had for me. And I had a chance to go that summer to St. Petersburg for 3 weeks, which was absolutely amazing. Really, really loved it. And then heard that there was this short-term project going to be starting the next year. I was finishing my degree in animation, didn't want to become an animator. It seemed like the perfect opportunity. So I signed up. 1 year became 3 years. And I lived there, and it was lovely. Who's been to Russia? A couple of people. And this morning actually gave us a little taste of Russia with the extreme cold. But I wouldn't say it's all about the cold. It's a country of extremes. So you think about the cold, but you also have the extreme heat in the summer. The country is so wide that when the sun is setting at one end, it's rising up at the other end. If you could take it out and roll it up into a ball, it would be the size of the moon. It's absolutely insane. At one end, you have people who are 11, I think. You have people that I mean, particularly where I was, I could pass for a Russian until I opened my mouth and people realised I didn't speak it very well. But in the south, you have people who you would probably more think came from the Middle East. In the Far East, you have people that look like they might be Chinese. It's this vast, diverse country of different cultures and histories. And one of the biggest differences I noticed living there is the difference in what the word friendship meant. In the West, and in particular since the advent of Facebook, I've got over 1,000 friends. We're very quick in this country and in the West to call people friend, when actually we probably just mean that we're acquainted with somebody. And so for a Russian to call you drug, that would be something a lot more significant. And it would mean that you had reached a level with them where you had a meaningful relationship, where they wanted to listen to what you had to say and you wanted to listen to what they had to say. But those relationships were rare. In the 3 years that I lived in Russia, I would say that probably 2 guys would have called me drug in that way, Sasha and Anton. And that was special. And it meant that I had fewer friendships, but deeper friendships.
That was part 3 of this 4Sight talk. Click here to subscribe, click here for the previous episode, click here for a playlist of all the episodes in the series, and click here for my series on YouTube tips for business.